Hi, friends. Welcome to TakeThree Talks. I'm Steffi, and I'm going to be your host. I'm here with my favorite travel partner, life partner, co-host, person, dog dad, favorite human in the world,
Elephant lover.
Meijun. The reason why we went to all the animal-themed things in our Asia trip.
I don't think there's any other way to do it.
Yes, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. I am very thankful, grateful, proud to have been able to experience these little pockets of like animal experiences in our Asia trip. So, yeah, hi everyone. Welcome. If you're watching today on video, hello. I cannot wait for you to see all of the visuals I have for you today. If you're listening, hello. Thank you. I just appreciate you so much. And in this episode, we are going to take you on like an open heart, intimate soul journey into the mountains of Thailand. Like, I am not kidding. I don't know if I am not about to spoil everything that's going to happen in this episode, but I just need to tell you. So consider this like the trailer, you know? So I don't know if it was the fact that we had just done Vipassana and we were like so raw to the world and we still had taken it so slow to do any like phone interaction, let's say. We had spent so much time just reading and at a coffee shop and drawing and just still being so grounded and in meditation, etc. That going like these 72 hours, like these 3 days were like just like what would you say the word would be?
I would say humbling and grounding. And reminded me specifically, and I'm sure for you, how little we need and how beautiful nature is and how important it is to respect nature, be with nature, and have nature be that grounding element for us. Because as you said, we were in Vipassana for 11 days, so it was already such a stripped back way of life. So coming out of that and then a couple of days later into nature was the perfect bridge to get back to civilization, let's say.
Yeah. I would say that the words for me would be like very you know when something challenges you and exposes you to like to see that you are capable, like physically capable. Like it pushed me to the edge and also to like it like made my heart beat, not only from like a physical challenge mountain hike standpoint, but also like seeing these elephants. Like I would just say like the word for me for these 3 days is like heartbeat, you know, because it really like everything that like was like from the hammock and just chilling to the dogs to the people to the elephants to the nature to the trekking to find the elephants to it being like a non-controlled experience to the point where you don't know where you're going to find them, you don't know how you're going to see them, you're there and you're like with the science gatherers and you're like trying to like, you know, so it's like such a heartbeat moment. It's like such a present also a moment. So I would say that like that those would be the words, but yeah, just like so awesome. Yeah. So welcome to this episode, everyone. Welcome to our visit to Kindred Spirit Elephant Sanctuary in Mae. It is about 4 hours west of Chiang Mai, Thailand, and you go through the mountains of Doi Intanon National Park. And I have like really good notes here, so I will give you a play-by-play, and Majin will add all the good juicy notes so that I don't end up dragging you through like 5 hours of content. And by content, I mean just my storytelling, because, you know, my grandpa used to say I tell stories with advertisings on. So
It's like long stories long, short stories long.
and yeah, just always long. So yeah, just I'm so excited. Let's go. Let's get it, everyone. So to start, I want to give you the fresh, like really raw explanation of what Kindred Spirit says about themselves. Okay, so because I think, like, what's the point if we just come and tell you things and then we don't tell you anything about what they believe about themselves and how they position themselves? And of course, this comes from a place of somebody or two people who are deep fans, you know, of like just these 3-day experience that we got, made us feel really close to these humans, and again, this place and everything about it. So please feel free, like, don't be shy, feel free to go to their website, go see how you can donate, support. The way that this non-for-profit foundation works really is basically by donations of people, the way that they feed the elephants, the way that they maintain camp, the people who are there, the researchers, the volunteers, the interns, the people from the Karen community who give their homestays and host the homestays and decide to be part of the program, and the mahouts were also part of the Karen community. So all of those details that you're like, what are all those words, Steffi? All of that you're going to learn a little bit more about today, but there's so much logistic and everything that goes behind. Imagine, like, these are animals that are like tons and tons and tons. Like, do you imagine like how much they need to eat? And like maybe in drought or in like over rainy season, like what happens to the vegetation, and just like they have to eat from Mother Nature, so of course they have to be like supplemented. So just like I cannot imagine the magnitude of what it looks like to get extra food to feed elephants, you know. It's like having a dog.
Yeah.
You know, can you imagine, like, we have to think and plan for Guillermo's food month to month. Like, imagine having 6 beings who weigh tons, right?
Yeah, to be able to manage, I think to be able to manage that, like you said, and the overhead and the logistics and just physically, biologically, scientifically, how much they need to consume to stay in good health. It's a lot to be able to take care of, I think. So yeah. And
the fact that like the stays and the fact that you can visit only in like limited amount of like people obviously makes it really special, but also makes it so that they can only raise so many funds from these stays. So the fundraising that they have to do outside of the stays and the tourism, let's say, is ginormous. And I just like kudos to them, because they're doing something that to me is really, really good, not just in like the animal perspective, but also with the community. Like, this really felt like a project that was involved in the community and with the Karen people. And we'll talk more about the Karen people, but they're an ethnic minority group in Thailand. They're originally from Myanmar, Burma, but it was incredible to see how they are actually blended in with the Karen community. Like they're not just like a project that it's kind of like a colonial takeover of this area, you know, like they're actually like working together, and
Yeah.
it's like this symbiotic relationship. So with that long story, long tangent, I wanted to actually read you what Christina from Kindred Spirit, she's the current director there, and the reason we ended up kind of going here. But yeah, we'll tell you all about the serendipity there in a second. But here is what Chris wrote as a director's note: bringing elephants back home to the forest. A note from Chris. At Kindred Spirit Elephant Sanctuary, we work towards a future where elephants can once again live wild and free. Joining KSES was not just about conservation, it was about justice. I believe in collaboration, in listening, and in working alongside those who have shared their lives with elephants for generations. The path forward for elephants in Thailand isn't about quick fixes or externally imposed solutions. It grows from within the communities, whose lives have long been connected with the elephants in their care. Lasting change comes through trust, mutual respect, and locally led alternatives that support both elephant welfare and human dignity. Every donation, visit, or conversation that helps shift perceptions and uplift ethical, community-rooted models brings us closer to that future. So I think that this gives you a perspective of what I was saying, is that this is really like a heartbeat project, is for all living beings, you know, in this ecosystem, for all species. And I just, feel so much privilege and gratitude to have been part of it for even just like 72 hours, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same. The same heartbeat that you're talking about. That's exactly what I felt there too. From the moment we got there, it was such a humbling, beautiful experience to be welcomed into the community, and meeting the Karen people and them making us feel like a part of just them, and experiencing everything for the past the 2 days that we were there, having all of those experiences. It was really, really beautiful. It was like, you know, a heartbeat project, as you said. And yeah, it really grounded me, and I'm just really grateful to have been able to go through that experience, and have that, you know, as part of our bucket list almost, you know.
100%. No, like, and also, can you believe that we freelanced our way to this experience? Like, we paid for this. Like, we worked so hard to invest into this experience, and just like the fact that everything in life happened, and then we ended up going a second time to Thailand, and time gave itself, and the universe just like, wow. So a little more information from their website. It says more than 4,500 elephants live in captivity in Thailand, often in inadequate conditions. At Kindred Spirit Elephant Sanctuary, we work to return them to a semi-wild environment where they can roam freely in the forest, forage naturally, and form social bonds. True change comes from working together. Partnering with over 200 Karen people, we connect elephant conservation with sustainable livelihoods, ensuring both people and wildlife thrive. Our efforts are also protect forests, wild gibbons, and other native species. Recognized with multiple awards for ethical tourism and animal welfare, we invite you to be part of the change. Book a visit to our sanctuary today. So, yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you to the team. Thank you to everyone. You're amazing. All the volunteers, like people in the animal arena, you really are making the world a better place.
Yeah.
So KSES is located 4 hours outside of Chiang Mai. As I said, you pass through Doi Intanon National Park in Meicham, and we did a 2-night, 3-day package. You can do the 1-night, 2-day package, but we just, whenever you say more time, we always say yes first. But also, we just felt like for a physical adventure as much as a cultural adventure, we just wanted as much extra time as possible, right?
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, listen to the trees, be able to journal, like take time to just be.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that we've said this before, but when we travel, we like to travel slow and not rush. The fact that this was 4 hours away, we felt like one night wasn't enough, because basically, one night, half of the day is already through travel.
Especially, let me just like say that Major is very like get hives at like more than like 3.5 hour long drives.
I feel like, I think I have like a limit. But
we
I can be
all push our
flexible
limits.
sometimes. But
Yeah.
But this was it, because it was 4 hours away from Chiang Mai, from where we stayed.
Yeah.
It made sense to stay there 2 nights. And because we felt like the investment into this was more than just for the experience, but every dollar that went into this was for the project, was for the Karen people, was for the elephants. So every dime counted, and we were able to invest for 2 nights and 3 days, and that was the best decision. I believe there was a longer stay option, but because of our logistics,
I don't think so. But I think it was like more like a volunteer, like the 2-week volunteer internship.
No, I remember the other couple, they were there for like 4 nights.
Oh, but they went to the Gibbons.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a longer, but we didn't like when we booked our experiments, they didn't have the Gibbons partnership yet. So they booked the same pack that we did, but so it was 2 days, 2 nights, 3 days at KSES Elephants, and then 2 nights, 3 days at Gibbons, which is like basically the same forest, just like 2-hour away village, where they do caves and Gibbons, which is like these monkeys.
Right.
And yeah.
Gotcha. Thanks for that clarity.
Yeah. I believe.
Yeah.
That's what they did. But yeah, it just like at the time, I don't think we knew about the monkeys. I think we probably would have ended up doing also the monkeys if we knew. Just because animals, yes.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that some of the reasons why we chose KSES, because there's so many sanctuary experiences, quote unquote sanctuary experiences, like fake elephant interaction, not fake, like real tourist attractions. And for me, first and foremost, if I am in a journey in which I am asking people to respect my boundaries, to be kind to me, to be aware of my emotions, like to create, for all of us to create a safe space together, a community. How can I go and support experiences in which we are basically doing the opposite to other living beings? Like these elephants, like, do we think that, like, would you have liked to stay in a bathtub for 10 hours in like cold water with other people bathing you? I'm sorry, that sounds traumatic enough, just speaking out loud. But like, so so Major and I was like, I'm sorry, we're like just not doing this. So when we went there November 2024, they were actually fully booked, and I did the research and everything, and we couldn't make it there. So I was like, I'm sorry, we're not doing elephants in Thailand. Like, heartbroken. I dragged him to like 30 something temples. Also, if you hear us snoring, it's Guillermo. He's so cute. I love him so much. Oh my gosh. So yeah, the point is Vipassana, we knew we were going there. So KSES is a true sanctuary experience where, as you saw, as you heard, their elephants are in the semi-wild. There's absolutely no riding, bathing, feeding, or interacting with the elephants at all. You are basically trekking into the mountains. You are with a local and from the Karen community, and they call the mahouts, which is a person that is basically like the babysitter, the nanny, the caretaker,
The human
the
caretaker
human
of
caretaker of the elephant.
elephant. Yeah.
Each mahout, one mahout to an elephant.
Mhm.
If the elephant has a baby, like Siprai and Junior,
Junior.
then there's one mahout for both of them until Junior basically starts being independent, and then they like figure it out. But
Mhm.
yeah, so mahout is the person who, you know, the genie in the bottle to the Aladdin. If we think about it like that. But yeah, so you are basically just trekking through the mountains, and there's paths. Sometimes they like roam through the same places. They tend to have like specific locations. They know where they sleep, so like they put them to sleep. So there's some communication, but there's no something that you can be like, yes, today you will see these elephants,
Mhm.
or you will find them XYZ, because you will just, it's almost serendipitous. It's
Mhm.
really wildlife watching.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say and bring up, that it's a real, it feels like a real life experience, not a controlled experience where every day is different, because the elephants are roaming freely as they wish, and they're not just at one specific spot every single day. So that was the beautiful thing too, that made our experience even more incredible, is that we were able to see almost all that. Well, we were able to see all the elephants in the 2 days we were there. And I also want to add that to your point from like a little bit ago about why we chose KCS, is that when we were there, one of the biggest things we had talked about was having a very respectful elephant experience when we're in Thailand, because we know that there were a lot of more tourist options that maybe don't take the elephants like natural how would I call it, like
Instincts.
things that are more natural to elephants that don't include bathing them, that's not considered. And I see a lot of like
being bathed.
I see a lot of tourists like riding elephants when we were there, and a lot of places advertise having a sacred experience or an ethical experience with elephants, when the picture is them washing and bathing the elephants, which is not natural to the elephants themselves. So my point is, we wanted to make sure that we chose and went somewhere that was truly, actually authentic when it comes to an ethical experience. So I just wanted to share that. That was very important. So thank you for doing the research. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. I know that it was like really tough when I was like being so adamant, and you were like, Jesus Christ, like this girl. But all of the things that you shared right now, you did not know. And this is point number 2 of why we chose KCS, is because at KCS, you don't only learn about the Karen, the ethnic minority group that is the community, or in the community, let's say. You also learn deeply about the elephants themselves, and like the actual scientific knowledge and zoology, knowledge about the elephants, and the fact that just like actual, like how many bones and their trunks and their brains and the way they sweat and how they die, and just like all of these things that we'll get to. But Just it was such a rich experience that I knew we were going to have because all the reviews said so. But most importantly, like I knew that the person behind this right now was really legit. So let's go into how, like, point number 3 and the reason really why we ended up really here was because of Chris. So Christina is her Instagram is Elephantasia. She's a Spanish from Spain, and she happened to be someone that came up when I asked Clau. So Clau Villota, she's a sound healer. She's who I studied sound healing with, the Himalayan art of sound healing. And her brother lives in Phuket, Thailand, and he works with elephants. So he has like a whole blockchain thing called Unchained Elephants, in which they work in rescuing and rewilding elephants and getting funds from elephants in the tourism industry, etc., etc. So I was like, okay, my girl has gotta like have some sort of connection, because I was just hitting so many like fake dead ends, in a sense, of like fake sanctuaries, and when I actually got there, it would not be really real. Or I just knew that I had to do more scientific research. And honestly, I was so tired. There was just so much research you could do. So you tap into your network, and my network was Cloud. Cloud said, oh my God, Steffi, you have to see this woman. She has an Instagram account. She has a guide of the places she recommends, and you can go in and see. So in that guide, there was basically like 7, I think, places around Thailand, and one of them was Kindred Spirit, and Kindred Spirit happened to be in close to Chiang Mai. So I fell in love, and I reached out to them, and they were like, sorry, we're fully booked. Like, there's no way you're coming here for Le Krathong. And I was devastated.
I was devastated too.
We were devastated, yeah. But we just felt, I told Major, I was like, I'm so sorry. I will bring you back to Thailand, and I will personally make sure you do not leave without seeing elephants. So I promise you. And your girl did it.
Yes, you did.
It did cost you 11 days of silence.
Yeah.
So you paid a price.
You know, everything happens the way it was supposed to. I think the first time around, it wasn't the time for us to see the elephants.
Yeah.
And looking back now, everything happened the way it just beautifully happened. And if we didn't go see the elephants the time we did, we wouldn't have met some of the people we did that time. So it was just like, you know,
oh yeah, everything for sure.
Everything happened exactly the way it did.
Yeah,
supposed to.
Now what was funny is so that I used to follow Chris Elephantasia from a while back, even before, just because always wanted to see elephants. But when we got there, I didn't know she actually worked there. So it was funny because we took the ride there, and we'll tell you the details, but we took the ride there, and we were with her partner, and her partner was with the dog. And at this point, we did not know it was her partner or the dog, or she was there, or the connection. But he was like, oh yeah, my partner, Chris, like, whatever, she's the director at this place. But I like get there and I see her, and I was like, oh my God, I think that's the girl from Instagram. And I was like a little bit like fangirling. Like I was having a little bit of like when you see like a digital crush and you're like, oh my God, she's the famous elephant girl.
Yeah.
And I'm in the famous elephant place. So it's just like so epic. So yeah, Meijun, how about you just take us through, like, kind of like paint a picture for us, right, of going there and what it was like to get picked up. Where did we wait? What was the bus like, or the van like, all the way to lunch, and then when we changed cars. So yeah, go for it.
Okay, yeah, it was very straightforward and organized, I would say. We were picked up at a specific hotel I don't remember the name of the hotel now. You can,
No, doesn't matter.
yeah, we got picked up at a specific hotel. We took a Grab, which is basically an Uber essentially. And
Because we were staying at a hostel called Insight
yeah.
Hostel, like Insight Meditation. How crazy.
Yeah, we're staying at a hostel, so we got picked up from our hostel, taken to this hotel, and we waited there. We had
Went to 7-Eleven.
we had a little snacky at breakfast at 7-Eleven until the bus got there.
And we got snacks for the road. Obby.
Absolutely, that was the best decision ever.
And I regret not getting some extra peanut butter for the team at camp.
Yeah, looking back now, yeah.
Yeah, they do ask you, but at that point, you have so many things you're carrying, and you're like, there's only so many things that can carry.
We didn't know if we were packed enough, etc., etc.
Exactly.
So, but now looking back, and next time we go, we know that we have to bring an additional bag of snacks, goodies, blankets, everything.
Yeah. Also, like,
goodies.
Just like stuff for breakfast, I think is really good.
Yeah.
So if it's a tip, like if you're going, definitely bring some stuff, because again, this is like a volunteer research, real research. How do we transition a little bit from like tourism into rewilding elephants? So yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So when we were waiting at the hotel, we saw different people, couples, individuals, just stopping by the hotel and just waiting there, and we're like, oh, they're probably gonna go on the trip with us.
Yeah, well, they saw us. We would make the eye contact, and they would just drop off their bags, and then we'd be like, yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we know, because everyone had their big like travel bag with them, so we assumed that they were going on this journey with us. So when we all waited there for the bus to get there, we all connected before, and also when we were in the van, we got into the van, and then we just were on our way, and we started just making our way there, and
making our way down.
Yeah, it was a 4-hour drive in this van, but this van took us to have lunch first, and I think it was around 2 hours, halfway point. We stopped for lunch at this really cool local spot in Macham, and we had traditional Thai food, and it was paid for. It was part of the package that you've paid. So we all got there, we had lunch together, we all commingled and got to know each other, and this is when we met Micah, which is Chris's partner, and we also
Bicho's dad.
met Bicho, which is a beautiful dog that reminded us of Guillermo.
So he's on this vegetable diet because of his health conditions. He was broccoli and shit.
Yeah.
He was begging for a little chicken to fall to the ground.
Oh my God.
Such a little rascal. He's been at the vet for 2 weeks in Chiang Mai.
I know.
Because they are up in the mountains. There's barely Wi-Fi. There's no vet for the dogs.
Yeah.
The dogs just those are wild dogs that eat everything. These are not some Spanish bougie bicho dog.
Yeah.
Love him so much. He's so cute. He really reminded us of Guillermo. He was really small and thin and so cute.
I know, it was really cute. So after lunch we started to make our way.
Also, I just wanted to say that the bus ride itself was really great, because there was this couple next to us, and just overall the people were awesome, but we were making deep conversation with this couple specifically, and she was moving to Hong Kong, and she was in NYU, and they were in New York, and it was just really awesome to speak after so much time of not speaking. And also it was really awesome to be able to share our knowledge about Hong Kong meditation, and just it was awesome to connect with other humans in that a deep, oh my God, I know where in New York you live, and I can relate in some level, in a sense.
Yeah, and also it was nice to connect with people who clearly are very like-minded in terms of having an ethical experience, because they all decided to go to KSES. That means they've put in the work to really look into an experience with elephants that are in such an ethical way. So I think that in itself is a connector for everyone.
For sure. It's like a filter.
Exactly. So after lunch, in this restaurant in Mecham, we started to make our way closer towards our destination, and I believe we drove for another hour, and then this was, I believe, hour three, and then when we got to hour three, we got dropped off at this like location, and then at this location we were picked up by a 4x4, and we all started to put all of our bags and our like travel stuff into the back of the 4x4, and then we all literally, I believe it was like maybe a dozen of us or more, um, we started to one by one, pack ourselves into the back of this 4x4, and then we were just on our way up the mountain, rocky, bumpy, dusty road that can literally only this 4x4 could have taken us there.
It really reminded
Yeah.
me of those like back country up mountain drives here in Ecuador,
Yeah.
where like you're like on the edge of a cliff on one side, the other side is like this like wall carved by like a machine just like 3 weeks ago, and like the dude that's driving is like a magician because there's like a car on the other side of the road and also a motorcycle, and you're just like, how the fuck are we gonna make it over here? But also you're like holding to your life, and also you're like, oh my god, this is so beautiful, and like how is
Yeah.
this so visually stunning, and like somebody pinched me, and also like, oh my gosh, is like my boob going to like jump off this pickup truck, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
So it was a little bit of all of what Estefi just shared, for at least
but it
like a
was
solid
epic.
45 minutes to an hour, just up the mountain until we got to the Karen community.
But also what was interesting is that they were like asphalting part of it, so maybe like by the time people go, like part of it is already asphalted, so it's like not as bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so you start getting to the Korean community, and what
Yeah.
does that look like?
And it was very, I don't know how to describe it, just humbling. That's the only word that's coming to my mind. Everything is just, built out of wood, um, and the roads aren't that developed.
It's
There's
just
still
dirt.
dirt, and
People are eating with like open fire outside.
yeah, people are
There's
just
like
out there.
bulls, cows, chickens,
Exactly.
dogs.
You're like
You're
in
like in
the
a countryside.
countryside. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So once we arrived, we just got off, and then got off the 4x4, and we were welcomed by Chris and her team. It was very, very nice, and the interns that were volunteering there at that time, and each couple, or each couple that was staying there got assigned uh, uh, someone to be
A
our
host.
a host, to be our guide, and they introduced us to
Host.
our host, yeah, and where we were gonna stay, etc., etc. And yeah, we were just there, and we're like, you know, that's from we got there. That's the start of the experience. So
Yeah.
it was just awesome to
Yeah.
to be there.
Yeah, I think that what was really interesting was how efficient everything was, like how one person from the team, like a volunteer or an intern or somebody that was there, was briefed onto who we were, what room we were
Yeah.
on, what stay we were in, what was our schedule. They were like able to brief us, so like everything was super seamless and felt like I was very accompanied the whole time. They showed us where our bathrooms are, like, because the homestays, as my agent says, like, they're humble. Like, you can find pictures of what the homestay looked like, and Bae and her family tree, and pictures of Bae, and our first night cooking, which Meijin will tell you in a second. But all of that is in the show notes at the bottom. There's like a dump of a bunch of photos, but it really is just this beautiful place because everything is alive, like there's like the chickens, the roosters, the dogs,
Dogs,
the
yeah.
bulls, the people, the kids. And when you cross the bridge, you're like crossing this beautiful river and the water is flowing, and it is like the trees are like it is just like wow, cicadas, you know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter like what Major said, like doesn't matter what you have, it doesn't matter how much you bring, it doesn't matter, like it just, you're just there, and it doesn't matter, like you're just coming to have like this wonderful heartbeat of an experience.
Yeah.
So what I want to say is that what was really interesting was because yes, we were there in winter time, but because we were up in the mountains, like yes, it was hot like when we were going there, but we did not anticipate, or I guess we had a little bit of an anticipation, so we brought a small sweater, but we did not anticipate how cold it was going to
Yeah.
get in the mountains,
Uh-huh.
how cold it got. So if you're going in January, which I highly recommend because it's not so hot
Uh-huh.
in Thailand, do bring like some little like, you know, thermal layers if you're going, because it gets chilly, if I
Really
do say
chilly.
so myself.
No joke, yeah.
But something thin, like nothing crazy, just like something to like keep you warm through the first like hour or so of the hike, and then at night to sleep. So you know, you like are comfy, but nothing that you're like, oh my god, you're gonna die, it's so
Yeah.
cold, it's snowing. Not at all. It's still
Yeah.
Thailand.
Yeah. Absolutely. I want to add also in terms of the homestays, what's really beautiful about this is that you've touched upon this earlier, is that KSES, they collaborate and partner with the community. So it's nothing like they are forcing the community to be part of this, right? So any Karen family or any group can decide, oh, I want to put my home up as a homestay for potential people to come and experience and stay there. So it's all up to them. They have the power, they have the control to be part of it if they want to. And nothing that the KSES team does is like
Mandated.
or they're not obligating anyone within the community to do anything.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, if you want to be part of this experience, you can. And that was awesome, and they get compensated for this, and I think that just makes it feel like such a genuine experience.
Yeah, well, the people that are there, they're the owners of the elephants, they're the carriers for the elephants. Like as we learned, and so in the first day, as we get there, we're signed in and checked into our rooms, etc. But we have our first afternoon is a session where we're learning about the elephants, and I'll tell you all about the elephants, but we're telling all about the elephants. We're learning about the community. We're learning about the mission and the vision of KCS, the team, what roles they play, etc. And I think what's awesome is to learn that, elephants in Thailand are privately owned. So they're private, like, property, and it's not something like, elephants really are part of the culture and the tradition of everything in Thailand, and even in families. So you can't just like come in and like take the elephants and put them into the wild. First of all, like the elephants need to be slowly reintroduced into the wild, and these people would lose all of their income. So then again, people buy the elephants from them, then they go with that money, they buy more elephants, and the cycle continues, or they buy other animals, because again, they need to be in the tourism industry, which is how they get money. So the idea here is that every month there is almost like a fee to rent your elephant, to home it in the semi-wild. On top of that, we pay you a fee to be the mahout, to take care of the elephant. And if you decide to open up your homestay, whoever decides, that's why there's only 9 homestays, I believe. And in those homestays, the volunteers also stay there. There's like an intern hut, let's call it. But there's like the volunteers also stay with the homestays. So it's a true local community experience in which there happens to be a non-for-profit research center basically being set up, and that's been here. helping the community do this in a more ethical way, in the way that elephants have been able to reunite. Like, for example, we learned about Maydum and Tume. So they are mother and daughter, and they were separated in the tourism industry and the logging industry. And it was so hard, filling and wrenching, learning that they were separated. And then when they like got together, they like recognized each other, and they were trumpeting, and it was such an like emotional get together for them. And the fact that elephants can feel emotions just like humans, and the fact that they feel grief. And we learned that they change teeth 6 times, and the way that they die is by malnutrition because they stop eating. We learned that they are matriarchal society community. So there's a matriarch, and in this scenario, it's Maydum. She is like the mom of Tume, or Maydum is the daughter of Tume. Well, you'll see it in one of the photos. But the mom is the matriarch, so she has been the one that she's the oldest, so she's been the one that has been teaching these other elephants like social norms and how to bathe. And as they've been reintroduced, like she's the matriarch again of the group. So it's a group of 6 of them. And then the other one, so it's Dodo, Siprai, and Junior. Siprai actually got into the system, let's call it, into the sanctuary pregnant. They didn't know that she was pregnant, and of course it's not easy to tell if an elephant is pregnant or not. They're fucking massive, guys, like, let's be honest. Like, how are you gonna tell? And like, so they like, I mean, I guess they tell, but not when it's early. So Junior has kind of been like this gift from the universe, and it's also like this risk because it requires a lot of like more funding and etc., because it's a baby and it's growing, and the amount of space that they have is only amount for a certain amount of elephants because of the vegetation, etc. So it's really complex. It's like, right, a living ecosystem. There has to be balance. So Junior has been like this beautiful mix of the universe because it has been able to give them a space where they're researching Asian elephants, but also they're researching Asian elephants that happens to have a family, so like a family quote unquote system with Dodo, Siprai, and Junior, and also a grandmother-esque figure in Tume, Maydum, I don't know, and like an auntie. And then like she has been able to like see like a mother figure in Siprai, and just like there's so much like interactions and so much data that this like little baby elephant has provided. So it's so interesting, and I'm such a nerd when it comes down to research that I'm just like, oh my god, this is so exciting. So that is a little bit about them. We'll go more into that, especially I know Dodo is your favorite, or one of your favorites, and Dodo is the male of the herd in a sense, that he's like still the young poser, macho, let's call him. But he does not have tusks. And then Boonrot is the my favorite, and it's the elephant that has tusks, and he's also a male, but he's kind of like single from the group. He likes to be alone. He was not with them, he's not related to them, and his name means survivor. And so his name is Survivor because he was the only one of his mother's like babies, let's say, that survived because she never had milk. And of course, elephants in the wild, like, they need that milk to survive. So he's a survivor because he did that. And I related a lot to him because my mother didn't have milk for me. So I was like, oh my god. So the first time I saw Boonrot, which was the first day of the next day that I will tell you, I cried, obviously, you know me. But yeah, so it was so awesome to, in this session that we had the first day, as soon as we got there, checked in, go into the lesson, and wow, we're learning so much about these elephants and them and their stories and what they like to do and where they like to be and how they like to act.
And just how big a role elephants play in nature and in just the animal kingdom and society. That was very, very,
And Thai society specifically.
yeah, that was very eye-opening. That
Mhm.
made me respect and appreciate and want to protect elephants even more
Yeah.
being there.
Yeah.
And all
We
of
watched
this,
a movie, a
yeah,
documentary.
all of this that you just shared, when it comes to the learning and having, these discussions when we were there, it was done at base camp. So base camp is their central like station, their area where all the volunteers and everyone just have a space to work and gather and meet, and that's where we would meet for for anything basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's where we went to meditate really early. That's where you have breakfast. That's where Ning's corner is, where you'll find Thai tea. Um, yeah, that's where the camp dogs also live. So, yeah, you'll definitely be familiar with base camp. And also, in that session where we learned about the elephants, we also learned about the Karen people and the Karen ethnic minority group, their language, their dialects, also about their vestimenta, costumes, like is that how you say it? Costumes? Like their dresses and the
Yeah.
fact that they wear stripes down when they are in a relationship, or stripes horizontal if they're not in a relationship. The colors also that they wear. We learned a lot about their migration, their religion. The town where KSES is Buddhist, so they did take us to the temple there. We did a little prayer time. One of the locals, the one that goes in the hikes with you and teaches you a Quran lesson if you stay there for the time.
Hi Kanda.
Hi Kanda. Yeah, she's awesome. And yeah, so you really get a lot of lessons. And that first night you have your only like dinner with your homestay. So we had our dinner with Bae, and we didn't eat with them, but we cooked with her, and we helped her like chop some of the onions and the peppers, and we cooked in the open fire with her in her kitchen. And she's such a young soul. She's my age, actually 2 years younger than me. She's from 1995. You can see it in the family tree in the show notes. But it was just super humbling to me to like see the fact that she has 4 babies, and that she's like hustling and she's in the homestays so that she can like provide extra income. And she's such like a woman, like powerful, and she's also like connected still with her traditions. And just like it's awesome to see the Karen people, also women, play such a deep role in like the economy, because they're in the agriculture. They're like they play just such a, also in the weaving, so
Yeah.
they play such a big role in that
Providing.
because the men are mostly with the elephants. They're mahouts. And it's not common for there to be female mahouts. So there actually was one female mahout in the town over, but it was not very common because the attire for the Karen people, the Karen women, is with a long skirt. So it does not give itself to be with a machete out in the open grass or open forest with the elephants. But one badass lady did do it. So yeah, again, like we said, this day was like really getting everything, like the lay of the land, lesson of the elephants, lesson of the people. We went on a hike a little bit just to like see the town, the people around, the dogs, the bulls, sunset, the school, the temple, and then dinner. And then after dinner, we went to sleep, I believe. We like went to base camp.
Went to base camp, yeah.
To do weaving, basket weaving.
Basket weaving, yeah. We learned basket weaving that night.
Yeah.
The first night.
And the market and basket weaving.
Uh-huh.
The open market with the weaving, the special weaving from the ladies, handmade weaving things. We bought 2 scarves, and I should have brought them. I forgot. But, and then we did basket weaving with like the bamboo. So that was really, really, really awesome. And we had some Thai tea from Nice Corner, who's one of the women from the community who's set up like a little cafe inside base camp. So when you go there, you can order smoothies in the mornings, pancakes, and also
all the money goes to
Thai
her.
tea, and all the money goes to her.
Yeah.
Hot chocolate, coffee. So
Delicious.
it's great. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's the end of day one, let's say, like getting in, checking in. And then the next morning, we woke up at 4:30, 5, because it was really dark.
So cold.
And so cold. We woke up at 5 to meditate. We meditated for an hour and a half. Did 45-minute walking, 45-minute sitting. Again, remember, we were just like out of practice, out of meditation, vipassana. So we were so strict. And we had breakfast at 6:30 a.m. with the whole everyone. They like caught us and they found us in like a corner up there with like just like trying to make heat because we were so cold.
sitting in Zen mode.
Sitting in practice mode, yeah. It was funny. So the hike starts at 7 a.m. and again, it's crispy out, so it's nice because you're not sweating or anything. So as you get up in the hike, the hike is about 2 hours ish to get to like see your first elephant. Let's say like an hour and a half ish to see your first elephant. But by the time you get like up there, it like gets like hot enough that you can take off your layers and you're just like acclimated, and there's like wind and it's really awesome and fresco, and like it just feels beautiful. And then you're with Kanda, and we were with Yas and other people from the volunteer team. Again, every time you go, you're going to see and meet new people because people are always coming and going. And the research team is awesome, so you're like learning a lot from them on the ground. And that's where we saw Boonrot for the first time. We saw Boonrot first, and I remember that was the time that you did that huge jump, and I was like, oh my god, you're so amazing, you're so brave. That was like some Pokemon jump. And we saw Boonrot, and it was just so sweet, and I was crying, and everyone was over there just watching, and I was over there in a different corner just on my own crying, like thanking him for his life, and just like thanking his ancestors, and just like loving him and telling him that he's like the best being on earth, and like he like pushed through, and oh, it was so special.
Yeah, he was the first one we saw.
Yeah, first elephant. I'll never forget.
Beautiful. Yeah.
You did a beautiful drawing of Boonrot. You'll also find that in the show notes and also in the video. I'm showing all of these visuals I forgot, but it was so magical. So then we continued the hike. It got hotter, but we went up this huge like ladder up. And then you see this like open plain field where like normally like the elephants are not like there, all of them there, but this time magically they were all there, and it was Maydum and Tume eating on one side.
They're always together.
Dodo, Siprai, and Junior on another side, and I was just like, oh my god! And we were just seeing Dodo and seeing Tume and Maydum, and then like we were like walked over more, and we were so close to them, and like we were waiting for the elephants to move, and then Junior is like making sounds like and he's like so curious of the humans, and he's like running over to us, and like just like everything feels so exhilarating, and you're just like, oh my god, am I in National Geographic? You know,
it was awesome because the first full day we were able to see all of them, and
everyone was like, this is not common.
This is quite rare. Yeah. And just to give you guys a little bit more context, the volunteers and the people who are, there, researchers, etc., they do this almost every day because they have to go into the forest and find and watch the elephants and take notes and gather data, because that's the data that they need to create these reports that goes out so that they can get more funding. So they do this every day, and then they told us, wow, this is you guys are so lucky you're able to see all the elephants in one go, in one day. And yeah, it felt like a blessing to be able to see all of them.
Yeah, honestly, it was just like, wow, Sikas. And yeah, like the fact that you're just there for an hour and a half and you're just watching, and you know, that's it. That's all you're doing, just watching them in awe and taking photos, and going to have to pay iCloud to have more storage, because my gosh, you're having the best time. So you're hiking, and then we had lunch by the river. So your host family packs up a lunch for you, again reimbursed of course, and you know, compensated for their delicious meals. And at night I thought this night we did the basket weaving, but I guess the night before we did the basket weaving. So we came back. Oh yeah, some people went to the school. We stayed back in the hammocks to just relax.
Yeah.
And then people that were doing the shorter stay, one night stay, were leaving after our hike.
Right.
And that was like run. And then I was just like in the hammock. I took a delicious nap. We were reading our books, because they have like a little like library thing where people have left a bunch of books, and it was just so chill. And then after that, we did a Karen language lesson.
Yeah.
And that was awesome to learn a little bit
Dablu.
more. Dablu.
Dablu.
It's hello and thank you and goodbye.
Sawadee. Yeah.
No, it's like sawadika.
Yeah, but it means everything.
Like yeah. So it was awesome to learn about, just like with Kanda, hi Kanda. And yeah, just like, oh, love it. And then went to sleep early for the next day, another hike. And what was really magical was that this second day hike, we did not see all the elephants.
No.
So we did not see Meidum or Tume. We saw a little bit of Siprai and Junior, like through the leaves. We saw Dodo, and we saw Bunrat on our way out. And seeing Dodo was awesome, because we saw him with the mahouts, and we saw the mahout trying to tell Dodo, don't go here. And Dodo was like, you know, like, fuck you, like, I'm big, I'm gonna go wherever I want. You know, and like you're just seeing them like eat and move their trunk and use their beautiful, smart, beautiful brains, and you're just there zooming in to their hairy faces, hoping you can like take a beautiful video of them.
Yeah.
And other people went on a really adventurous hike, like the couple that were like the science people from
They're
England.
from England, yeah.
They went on like the more adventurous part of the hike, but I had just gotten my period, and I was just like, I'm not about to do this, guys. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm not about to climb that mountain just to try and see Tume and Meidum. But you go, and I'm your cheerleader.
Yeah.
And they had to like, you know, slide down. They fell. Like, it was like a big ass trek. And they were like, yeah, we kind of barely saw them, but it was still awesome.
Yeah.
So we all had a amazing experience. So that's, again, a little bit of like how the hike can be really strenuous, but also you can like stay with one of the group of researchers, because somebody has to watch at least one of the elephants that is probably doing some boring, more easy get to type of thing. So yeah, I just think it's awesome. So even though we did not get to see all of them, it was still so beautiful, because we got to like just be more quiet, more in silence, more just watching Dodo like do his thing. We actually ate lunch back at camp, and we got to do a little journaling on both of our elephant watch on like the book at the base camp.
Yeah.
And that was super awesome, and I was super thankful that we got to do that, because it was like one really cool seeing what other people had journaled and what had been their experience of like Junior, of like Dodo, of like
what their observations were, and what they did, and what, because that's what the interns and the researchers have to do every day.
Of course, they're actually doing it in a more scientific way.
They have to track every single action, and
they have an app and stuff.
Yeah, for us, we just have to observe, and whatever we remember, we jot it down. So that was really awesome to be able to see them and then like annotate what we saw. So we were like part of the team almost.
And we also got to have like little boards on the hike itself to make notes. So that was really special as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that second day was a lot chiller and was super special, and you got to do what you wanted in the afternoon kind of way, but you also got the lesson and everything. And at night there was a quiz, and it was more like on animals. Like one of the volunteers interns had done like a themed quiz. I guess last week had been Disney. This week was all about different like animals, fun facts, and it was pretty awesome, and everyone got to laugh, and we're all like seeing who got the best answers and guessing, and everyone got competitive, and it was just really fun to learn, like, you know, what color is the skin of the polar bear? Is it black or white or pink or gray?
Or which bird, which is the only bird that can fly backwards.
Yeah.
And that's the hummingbird. So it was a lot of fun animal facts.
And the answer is black, by the way, because, like, you know, the nose is black.
Yeah.
And like the paws, the bottom of the paws.
Yeah. And I also want to say is because we were able to see, because we stayed there 2 days, and the first day, or 2 nights, and the first day we were able to see all the elephants. Everything after that was just bonus for us. The day 2 where which was more chill of a hike, we didn't feel the pressure of like, okay, we have to go see Meidum and Tume because we didn't see her or see them, but we actually did. So that just it just like made it so much better.
And also I think that it was really awesome because we had some social interactions and outputs and inputs as well, because the group was so epic, and like you said, like there was that filter of like the animal aspect, so everyone was vibing really well and jiving really well, and it was just really awesome, and I felt like such a deep connection with everyone there, especially Chris and Yas and the team. It was really just so special to be there. So it was really beautiful. We left the next day.
But before that, we had a final group dinner.
That was awesome. So we all got, our homestay, each homestay cooked something for you, and everyone kind of got together. So it was like a pamba mesa in Spanish. Everyone got together like with potluck, you know. Everyone brought what their homestay had made them, and everyone shared, and that was epic.
That was awesome. That was a nice closing to the night, because the day after we were gonna head back. But I really enjoyed that last dinner because we all just cuddled up into this one of the homestays house, and we were just in the patio. We were just all fitted in the patio eating, and it almost felt like a family
a little bit.
Felt like college. It was really beautiful. I really enjoyed it.
And it was also full moon, so it was really special. I remember.
Absolutely.
So we left the next day after lunch. Because we got back to Chiang Mai at like 6 p.m. To our hostel, where we were actually going to see one of our Taiwanese friends from Vipassana, and I smile because Chen, I love you with all my soul. You really are a soul journey. So I just want you to tell me, Meijun, what was your favorite part of the experience? I have to say my favorite part of the experience was Bunrat and meeting the people and understanding the magnitude of activism and conservatism. How do you say conservativism?
I think we understand what you're trying to say. Sustainability. Wow. I was trying to think about this before this conversation, and I couldn't really pinpoint specifically because I felt like the entire time I felt so grateful to be there. From the moment we got into the van to the 4x4 and seeing like the beautiful view, getting to the actual community and being there and just feeling like, wow, like feel so light, you know. It still felt like that lightness like I did in Vipassana, not worrying about anything. All you're gonna do is just go have delicious food prepared by your homestay. You go hike. You don't have to hike if you don't want to. You can join on specific events that they or things that they planned. You don't have to. So it just felt very light. So the whole time I really enjoyed it.
I mean, you do have to hike because how are you gonna see the elephants?
Sure, but I mean, like, yeah, you
I mean,
hike.
but you don't have to do strenuous.
You don't have to do a. Yeah, you at the end of the day, you are there to experience the elephants, and then everything else is optional and plus, and bonus. So for me, like the whole experience, but I did love seeing just all the elephants. They all have their personality. I love it. I love base camp, and I love staying at base camp because it was so chill. It was like a tree house, a giant tree house. I loved the Thai milk tea knees corner, especially at night when it's cold and she makes the hot Thai tea for you, or Thai tea for you. Um, I loved cooking with Bai, and
Boy.
yeah, Bai, our homestay. That was very, yeah, just a very beautiful experience to be able to cook in open fire there in her home
With her. Yeah.
with her. And yeah, just I just rambled, but I just loved a lot of aspects of that experience in general.
I would also say that the dogs. So now that we're like volunteering, pro bono, doing work with them from like a creative standpoint, like website stuff, I just feel like I was telling Majun, like, this is the dream that I hope that this is just one of the dreams that we always wanted to have. Like a little island where we would just like help all the dogs. Like whenever I work on anything KSES, I just like know that this is like my support to like my island of elephants and like humans and like dogs, and that makes TakeThree Studio my more meaningful life, creative life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that we shared a lot, everyone. I wanted to share like last fun fact or facts, anything that comes to your mind about elephants. I wanted to share that they have a very similar structure to our brain, actually. Obviously, and like tons. They feel emotions. They actually sweat through their eyes, so that's why we can see they're crying. But they're not actually crying, but they're sweating. And they do feel grief as well. So when one of the elephants in their herd or their group, let's say, dies, they like hold a funeral of sorts, like they attend their burial, the burial of the elephant or the place where it died in the wild. Also, elephants in the tourism industry are developing like some sort of herpes situation where it's actually killing them. And they don't know how they're developing this, but it's very interesting that elephants in captivity are developing a specific disease that, it's like making them like not be able to survive by the time that they get to a vaccine. It's too late. So it's really sad how the tourism industry has also doubled, as much as also the semi-wild or rewilding of elephants has also happened. So, it's really, really sad to see when I see friends or people. Of course, everyone gets to do their own experiences, but if you can, please go to somewhere like Kindred Spirit, learn, see that the data that they're collecting, like how much of the time are the elephants actually spending in a year or in years of their, like Asian elephants, they're spending in a bath, or how the fact that they're putting mud in their skin is like sunscreen, and the fact that you're bathing them is causing them skin infections. The fact that they eat and they forage for a living and they get different like flavors and different things from different vegetations, and if all you're feeding them is bananas, it's like really sad. And the fact that with their nomadic nature, they continue to spread seeds in forests, and they are the ones that basically make our earth more forested.
Yeah.
Like they're in the documentary literally said, like, if you want forests to be reforested, just insert elephants back into their systems, and obviously all other animals, and let them be. Like, don't go and hunt them down. Also, Asian elephants and African elephants are different. I did not know. I'm sorry. But I learned, Asian elephants and African elephants are very different. The African elephant ear is the shape of Africa-ish, and the Asian elephant ear is the shape of India-ish. So very interesting. Also, for example, the way that the nails and the claws, the paws are of the African elephant versus the Asian elephant's different because of the way that they have to grip into their ecosystem and the way that they have to like grasp onto the vegetation to eat. They have like
lots of facts
how
here.
many like bones in there.
Yeah, like
Like
400 and
trunks.
something bones.
Just in their nose,
Yeah.
and they
Their
like
trunks, yeah.
they like as they grow, they like develop it, and
Yeah.
the fact that they just die of malnutrition because they lose all their teeth and they're unable to eat
Yeah.
is like so like
Yeah, I think
wow, there's
like,
just like so much
there's
that
so
just
many
like hit my soul in that trip.
Yeah, there's
and all
so
of
many
this
facts.
I'm telling you is not even stuff that I looked up. It's stuff that I remember core memory from this trip.
Exactly.
Like these 72 hours were like the 11 days that we spent in Vipassana, core memory. The like 3 days that we spent in KSES, Kindred Spirit Elephant Sanctuary, like core memory.
Yeah.
How like what? And this is like we've only told you guys 2 stories of this whole 6 months, and like they are like iconic moments. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. If you want to support Kindred Spirit, again, go to their website. You are able to donate via Wise on the app from anywhere in the world. You are able to share. You're able to watch your YouTubes. You're able to, if you go to Thailand, go visit them. Don't support the tourism industry. If possible, please. Don't go to Ayutthaya. Go to Ayutthaya, but do not ride the elephants. They do not need to be ridden in those hot asphalt streets. And yeah, I love you. Love the beings around you. You don't have to eat them all. I am not vegan, but my gosh, can you imagine people just haunt these animal downs just to like make things?
Yeah, it boils my blood.
Yeah, it's so sad. Pobrecitos. Pero bueno, thank you to everyone in the Kindred Spirit Elephant Sanctuary team, the volunteers and interns, the people whose life's mission is to learn about elephants and help see that picture of the butt of the elephant going away into the forest, because it means that we're bringing elephants back home. We're not rescuing, we're rewilding them. So yeah, I hope that we can all rewild ourselves a little bit more. I hope that this episode reminds you that we all have a little heartbeat inside of us that always reminds us to come back home, whether that home is in the forest or surrounded by other like-minded humans, and finding experiences to volunteer, to do ethical tourism, slow tourism as much as possible, and be respectful to the animals, to the humans. Don't throw trash. Don't go out and leave it worse. Leave it better than you find it. Always leave with trash. Don't leave empty-handed. And yeah, I know that corporations are the ones that are killing the world, and we're not going to be doing a lot of things, but if we can, one little sand at a time. Go meet Woonrat, go meet Chris, go meet Dodo, go meet Junior, which is probably such a big boy now. And yeah, I would say another one of my favorites was hearing Junior.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, friends. Thank you for being here. You're awesome. You're awesome, Mijun.
Thank you. You're awesome too.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Take Three, for taking us in these beautiful experiences. And bye, friends.
Bye-bye.
I appreciate you. Bye. You want to go for a walk? Let's go for a walkie.
just hike around the fire today. Emergent is great. I'm so cold.
What are you eating?
Sour leaf.
So good.
It's like lemonade on the go.
Can I try?